This is a no-go. This is the farrPlunger. Here is the traveling valve. Here's the well bore and sand. Let's watch the farrPlunger pump for a few strokes. Notice the concentration of sand that is being pumped and how much difference there is in the turbulence of the sand above and below the plunger. Now, let's shut down the simulated pumping unit and watch the sand settle out of solution. Notice how the sand settles inside the plunger and not in the gap between the plunger and the pump barrel, as with conventional plungers. There is so much sand in the system, the plunger is completely filling up. Keep in mind, as the farrPlunger starts up, it is full of sand. If this were a conventional plunger, it would be wedged solid right here. Watch as the unit starts up. It doesn't even hesitate. See how it simply flushes the sand out of the plunger and places it right back into solution. After pumping sand and water this long, you would think that the plastic tube would have been all scratched up. But no sand was able to get between the plunger and the plastic tube to scratch it. Now that you've seen the farrPlunger in action, I'll bet you'd like to see a conventional plunger pumping sand so that you could compare the performance of the two. We're going to do just that in the next video. We've taken a conventional plunger with the exact same dimensions and put it into the system. Here is a shear pin. Here's the top connector with the 60,000th gap. Below that is the conventional plunger. Below that is the traveling valve. Below that is the simulated well bore with sand and water. There is so much sand falling into the gap that it is beginning to bind up the pump. Pay attention to the shear pin above the connector. Only 5 strokes and we are wedged solid. Notice how the sand is still settling out of solution and falling into the gap. This will continue to wedge the plunger even more. This plastic tube had to be broken in order to remove the plunger.